Hi Virgo, welcome to your December 2024 horoscope. Yes, 2025 is almost here, and as a gift to everybody, I opened up my books for 2025 year ahead readings. So if you're curious and would like a personalized reading, I've left a link for you down below in the description box and in the comments. And these year ahead readings are highly discounted. So if you look compared to my birth chart readings, they're at a much cheaper price. And they're only 5, so make sure you grab one before they're gone. We start off the month on December 1st with a new moon in the sign of Sagittarius. For you, Virgo, this is happening in your 4th house of family and home. So you could be starting a new adventure when it comes to your home, maybe moving to a new place, or maybe you are starting a new chapter where you work on your inner world and improving that part of yourself. I posted a new moon dedicated video where we talk about exactly what you can expect with a lot more details, and I'll leave it right here for you so that you can check it out. A couple of days later, on December 4th, we have a square between Saturn and the Sun. For you, this is happening in your angular houses, your 4th and 10th houses to be exact, Virgo. So you might be one of the signs that especially feels this transit. And how you might be feeling it is that you feel especially restricted. You might feel like things are just not flowing for you. And especially when it comes to the way that you show up with your family, maybe the activities that you have around your home. And it could even be that you feel somehow restricted with exploring and working with your internal emotional world. A couple of days later, on December 6th, we have Mars going retrograde. Mars goes retrograde in your 12th house, but keep in mind that as it's moving backwards, it will eventually also enter your 11th house. So you will see the themes of both houses come up during this retrograde. Mars will be retrograde until February of 2025. So you might especially be feeling frustrated because things are just not going anywhere. You might be starting some things, but then quickly having to stop them because there are just certain things that are getting in the way and not letting you carry out with these actions that you're starting. For you specifically, Virgo, this could be anything you're starting around your spiritual practice, maybe new routines you're wanting to pick up. And you could also be feeling this frustration when it comes to your long-term future plans and ambitions as well. A day later, on December 7th, Venus enters the sign of Aquarius, and as it does that, it conjuncts Pluto. On this day as well, we have Jupiter opposing the Sun. Because both of the positive planets, Venus and Jupiter, are in these challenging positions, you might feel like things are just not flowing on this day. Specifically, you might feel like there are just some things happening in your career, they're just not going anywhere. You feel like you're not getting the opportunities that you would like to when it comes to your career. And as a result, you end up having to face the fears that you have around what it means to be of service, what sort of skills you have that you can bring to the rest of society. On December 8th, Neptune will go direct in your 7th house. This will probably feel very nice, Virgo, because for a while you've probably felt like the veil has been lifted from your relationship, and all of these pleasant sort of romantic ideas that you had about your partnership were all of a sudden like, oh, nope, and this is the reality. But now that Neptune is going direct, you might feel like you're starting to see your partnership again in this romantic light, in this light of positivity and acceptance and love. A couple of days later, on December 12th, we have an opposition between Venus and Mars. which for you are in your 6th and 12th house. With this opposition, you might feel like you're being split in two directions. A part of you wants to be selfish, wants to put yourself first and take care of your own internal world, to take all the time you need for your spiritual practices. And this other part of you also knows that it's important to cultivate the health of your body here and now, to cultivate your day-to-day routine and make sure that that is something that not only contributes to your own health, but contributes to the well-being in general of your home, of the world you're in, the partnership you're in, that in general reflects well on others as well. Then we reach halfway through the month on December 15th. And on this day, we have a full moon in Gemini in your 10th house. A full moon is a crescendo or a peak where we start to see the consequences of our actions. For you, Virgo, if you have been acting in alignment in your career, you will see the benefits of that. But on the other side, if you have maybe been making choices that are misaligned to how you really feel or what you care about, you might start to see some complications or some repercussions of that. Closer to the date, closer to December 15th, I will post a dedicated full moon horoscope video. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss it. A couple of days later, on December 20th, we have a trine between Venus and Jupiter. And this should be a much more positive day amongst all these more challenging aspects. And for you, Virgo, it's impacting your 6th and 10th house. So you might especially feel like the fact that you've been taking good care of yourself, getting good sleep, nurturing your health, getting exercise is positively reflecting on your career and the way you can show up there. The next day, on December 21st, we have the Sun entering Capricorn or your 5th house. So from the 21st onwards, if you want to feel alive, excited to jump out of bed, then you need to focus on your creativity and self-expression. A couple of days later, on December 24th, we have a square between Jupiter and Saturn. We have had this square a couple of times before. That's because the planets were first moving direct, and then they moved retrograde. So they've been squaring each other a couple of times. For you, the square is happening in your angular houses, Virgo, your 7th and 10th. So you might especially feel this tension on this day. Because this is a tension between your career house and your partnership house, you might feel like there is some tension there. You might feel like maybe your partner, the struggles you've been facing with your partnership are reflecting negatively onto your work. Or you might feel like the fact that things at work have maybe been a little bit uneasy is reflecting negatively on your partnership. There's a bit of tension there between the two. Finally, we reach the last two transits of December, and one of them is Venus squaring Uranus, which is happening on December 28th. For you, the square is happening in your 6th and 9th houses. For the last couple of years, you've been really determining what your unique, personalized life values are. Not what society defines for you, but what you find important in life. On this day, however, these values might make it challenging for you to take care of your health and your routine. I can imagine that maybe one of your values that you've defined for yourself is rest. But you find that actually what your health is requiring at this time is more movement, more activity. And you might find that there's a bit of tension between the two. Again, this is just one example. So there could be different ways that this manifests for you. Then we reach the final transit of December, which is on December 30th, and it's a new moon in the sign of Capricorn. Because this is in your 5th house, Virgo, you might be starting a new chapter with your creativity. And honestly, it's a wonderful way to start the new year. Maybe 2025 is the year where you really get in touch with your creativity and self-expression. So overall, Virgo, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the forecast. If we had to summarize what December would look like for you, there were a couple of main themes. We talked a lot about creativity and self-expression. We talked quite a lot about your career, your health and routine, and then of course your partnership. So those themes you might find continually coming up during the month. Don't forget, if you are ready for the new year, you're ready for 2025, and you want a personalized reading as to what you can expect, make sure you book one. I have put the link down in the description box and in the comments. It's at a highly discounted price, don't forget. And there are only 5 spots available, so make sure you book it fast. Thanks for joining me again, Virgo, and I hope to see you again soon.